Thank you for joining us on October's Chapter CAT, Technology for Your Volunteer Role. More efficient for your volunteer role, no matter your comfort level, I think we have something for everyone today. Department at ANSP headquarters. More specifically today, we'll be going over chapter newsletters, websites, and then communicating with members in general, and we'll break that down in a little bit. First, how to create a winning newsletter. Members love receiving these, and this is a great chance to share any news and information you have that you want them to know. To revamp your own chapter newsletter or see what other chapters are doing, this is the best way to share best practices. Take what you like and kind of leave what you don't like of other chapters. So first I'm going to show you my desktop and actually show you one here. If you go to the ANSP website, if we host the chapter website, which we do most of them, it will be just the state initials behind it, and they do have to be capitalized. So I'm going to show you a great chapter newsletter. This is Tennessee's. I'm going to download it here. And you'll see it's very professional, very formatted. They're using the chapter logo at the top. We do have these on file at headquarters. And on the side here, you'll see they kept their individual stamp on the communication. Tennessee Volunteer is what their newsletter is called, and they used to have that at the top before VMA changed to ANSP. But they have the logo at the top, kept their own character on the side, and I know most of you have the message from the president, so that's great. Keep that. We love hearing from chapter leaders. And on the side, you'll see just general information. And this is actually taken from monthly newsletter content that I send out every month to newsletter editors and sometimes webmasters and presidents. So you'll see this. I'll actually show you the content now, just a Word document formatted really simply so that all you have to do is highlight, right-click, copy, and then paste into whatever newsletter template you're using. That's all. Bobby does the newsletter for Tennessee. That's all Bobby did here. As we scroll down, you'll see their chapter leaders are in plain view right at the top so that if anybody has any questions or wants to get involved, the members can find them easily. Following, this is more information that is copied and pasted, and there is, of course, information on our website if you want to use that, but we try to make it easy with the newsletter content sent to newsletter editors. We have an ad for the company that supports the chapter and the newsletter. Keep going. And they even have their own stamp by putting local jobs in the newsletter. The past meeting photos are included so everybody can find themselves or their friends, and that continues on to the next page along with recipes. All of us love reading recipes, so this is a good way to make sure that members open the newsletter. And finally, Bobby said he included these F tags just to make sure that everybody can be aware of them if they don't see them on their own somewhere. They want to get the information out and make sure CDMs stay on top of their game. Page 9 is the Fall Regional Meeting form. We are going to Nashville next month, so he included the registration form in the chapter newsletter so it got out to even more people. And finally, at the very end, there is a volunteer form. Just to make it available for those who are ready to get more involved with ANSP and want to make the most of their membership. So that is Tennessee's. And if you're looking to maybe go more this route or use free resources, there are many things on the internet, and I would like to show you the Microsoft Office website. If you look on your screen, it does provide product, and you do not have to buy this to have a great newsletter. Windows, of course, wants you to buy the Microsoft Suite, but I'll show you some free things right here. If you go at the top, if you go to the Images section, there's plenty of stock photography. It's completely safe. You can, if you're having a celebration, you can click on this one, and it's available for you to copy and paste or save to your computer. So you can use any of these if you're looking for something to match your articles. Next to images is templates. They have so many samples and templates for flyers you can do for meetings, or you can do newsletters. Let's see, down here at the bottom, there is a newsletter tab. So if you find a design that you like, all you have to do is, again, like with the photography, click on it. And since this is a little more complicated than one image, you'll have to download the whole thing. But it's free, it's easy, then all you have to do is copy and paste the newsletter content or whatever you want into the template you just downloaded. Make sure you save it onto your computer. And if you happen to have a lot of photos in your newsletter, then I would recommend converting it to a PDF if that capability is available to you. This way, the photos will be all integrated into the newsletter. So once you have the final draft of the newsletter, please be sure to use the grammar and spell check before you send it out to all of your members. And there are various options to keep things a little easier. I'll show you in Word here, just the headers and footers, for example. Instead of putting each page number individually on every sheet, please save time by just adding the page number. No matter what version of Word you have, this can be done. If you're having trouble finding what tab or what section it's under, in the right-hand corner there is a question mark. There's always a help search button. So if you're having trouble or think it should be possible, think it should be easier than it actually is in your current process, then just go to the search button. But all I did here for the page number was to double-click. So if I double-click the body of the document, my cursor will be back here because I can edit that part now, and the footer will be grayed out. So if I want to go back to the footer, all I have to do is double-click around there, and that way I can change anything I want to here, and it'll be set. This is the same for the header. If I want something on every single page, this could be for your bylaws or policies and procedures, maybe even your newsletter. If you want, say, your chapter name at the top of every page, this would go in the header section. Next, using your chapter website. It's so important to keep this up to date. We get a lot of calls, and we'll even go on the website to check the information to give to the member, and a lot of members go straight to the website, sometimes asking us where the information is. So please be sure that all newsletters, meeting announcements, job postings are not too old, and you review the website every so often to make sure that it's all relevant for the members. And the way you change them, if your website looks like the one on the left here, the Tennessee one we just saw, that means we host the website. A couple chapters manage theirs separately, but if we host it, meaning if the URL is ANSPonline/the state initials, then you can email us any updates that you might want. If there's an attachment, you can do this. This would actually be found on the volunteer resources part of the ANSP website. Please be aware that any photos or documents that you submit, they do need to be less than 10 megabytes, which is pretty large. So if you have a newsletter with tons of high-quality photos in it, it might be above 10 megabytes, but if you convert it to a PDF, as we mentioned earlier, then that would limit the size a bit. And for the gallery pages, we ask that photos submitted are limited to 30. pick your favorite 30 from the meeting or event, and we would be happy to post them. There is a bit of formatting that goes into the galleries, especially if your website has the flash with the mini one on the side. There's some time that goes into it, so we ask that you limit it to 30, and feel free to post all of them on Facebook. And if you have any questions about this, you can always give us a ring at 800-323-1908 or email us at chapters@anfponline.org. In addition to the newsletters and websites as ways to communicate with members, there are so many other forums. We love that more of you are using the social media, especially Facebook, and there's also LinkedIn and Twitter, and some of you are even using Skype to do some of your board meetings. And for those of you who send blast emails, usually we see these monthly, but if you do send blast emails to your members, again, be sure that any attachment you have is less than 10 megabytes. If it's more than that, it usually goes into the junk folder. And the same with the amount of recipients. If it has more than 25 recipients, it will automatically see it as spam. A lot of times at facilities, they do have these security settings. So make sure that it's less than 25 recipients if you're doing individual emails. And with any email message, you'll notice that there is a to, which I'm sure you're familiar with. Under that would be a CC, and then under that, there's sometimes a BCC. That may be hidden in your settings, but there should be an option to view it if you want in whatever email program you use. But I mentioned these just so that everyone can understand how they are meant to be used. So the to is the primary audience. If you expect them to reply back to you, you would want to put them in the to. For CC, the carbon copy, this means you just want another person to be informed of what's going on, but not necessarily take part in the conversation that's going on. That may not, always follow the rules, but that's what it is intended for. And then the BCC, this thing's blind carbon copy. So if you are sending an email to a lot of people and don't want to put that in the to column, if you open the email, sometimes you'll see a huge block of email addresses. So you can avoid that by putting all of the members in the blind carbon copy, BCC, section. This makes it a little cleaner when you're sending things to members. And to send these emails, we do have free membership rosters available. We do have mailing labels as well if you send anything like newsletters or ballots or anything else like meeting notices through the mail. We do send mailing labels for free if used for chapter purposes, as well as membership rosters. So if you know what you want, you can give us a call or email us, and we'd be happy to send these. There are many options of what you can get. You can get all of the state's members. You can get a certain district or a certain combination of districts, and we do pull those by zip code. So if you're calling and you have districts in your state, we have those on file, but if you're asking to have an area around a certain city and don't know the zip code, we can figure that out too. We can also do a combination of general membership and volunteer roles. So that means if you are from Illinois and want the whole state of Illinois, we can give you a list of those members, as well as all chapter presidents or newsletter editors throughout the nation. If you're sending a newsletter, we can get you mailing labels or a roster or email addresses of all newsletter editors in each chapter. From these membership rosters, they are in Excel spreadsheets, so you can copy and paste the email addresses into your email. Again, this would probably be the BCC line if you're just letting them know about it and don't necessarily want every member to reply to it. But there's also a great process called a mail merge, and this is using a Word document, an Excel roster, which could be your membership roster, and Outlook. So if you use Outlook as your email program, you can use a mail merge as an option. And it is great, time efficient. It looks like you're sending emails individually, and it does do that throughout Outlook. And this is actually a better way to avoid junk mail folders. These these instructions are available in the how-to section of ANSP on the Volunteer Resources page, so let me show you that. I have Volunteer Resources bookmarked. Once you're logged in once, you can save it as a favorite and just go there without logging in every time. So I'm on the Volunteer Resources, and if I go down to the library, there's a how-to part. And here it's in a Word document, but also on YouTube. So if you want to view how to do a mail merge on YouTube, just like you're watching now, you can do that. And there it is. And again, you can always search these on the help bar of Microsoft Word or Excel, or just simply search the Internet. So there are many other resources outside of today's recording that you can use. Current and past volunteers, or even other members, are a great resource for you. People all around in your IT department, at your facility, local libraries focus a lot on media now. And as I just showed you, YouTube has lots and lots of instructions on various things. Finally, when you have time, check out that Volunteer Resources page. There may be some things in there for you that you may need later on, or you can share with other members of your board. And we here at headquarters are always available to answer your questions. So thank you so much today for listening. And if you're going to a regional meeting soon, we will see you there. The credentialing exam is coming up at the end of October, so if you know of any students who are going to be taking the exam, make sure you wish them good luck. Then we have the big capture deadline at the 1st of November. You can feel free to submit any of these forms beforehand, the most important of which is probably the officer name so that we can communicate with the correct officers, and goals and budget, and then the first part of the State Achievement Award are due also. So if you have any questions or concerns about any of that, please give us a call and we'd be happy to help you. Thank you for joining today, and we look forward to seeing you next time.